We were heading to Europe's first wild river national park, but we ran into some challenges along the way.
Stop! Stop!
Before we get to that, let's start where we last left off. We're a family of 4 going around the world on a 5-year overlanding journey. This is Jane, our Grenadier, and we live here in our off-road trailer. Along the way, we'll be sharing stories to support projects that preserve and protect our wild earth. Despite the weather, we decided to head back up into the mountains again. We are such suckers for the mountains. We were in Montenegro and headed to a small village called Theth, set in the heart of the Albanian Alps. Maybe we could squeeze it in before the snow came. It was all going so well, and spirits were high as we crossed into Albania. And then, on the drive up to Theth, it hit us. Matt was the first one to feel it.
Suddenly, I started feeling really rough, and it got to the point where it was unsafe to drive. So we decided, let's just pull over, stop in a guest house. This is obviously going to be a 24-hour, 48-hour thing, and we'll continue from there.
And so, yeah, shortly after he got it, Jack, that night, I just couldn't keep down any of his dinner. And then, yeah, the next day, Charlotte and I were feeling all the things that they were.
It rained for days on end while we were ill. We were getting tired of eating plain potatoes and toast every day. I'm ready for bed in my waterproofs because it is a bit wild out there. We've just looked at the radar, and in the next hour it's predicted that the wind's gonna pick up, which is kind of like right on the line with what we're comfortable with in terms of like being in the tent and sleeping in the tent. We keep choosing to stay in the mountains, and with the mountains you just get really crazy variable weather, and it's just the name of the game.
Luckily, we stayed right outside a guest house, so we had the facilities because we were just constantly doing laundry. The kids were having accidents almost every night in the tent. It was such a mess. And then, of course, everybody needed the toilet. Well, we actually don't know what it was from still. We have our suspicions, yeah, but...
Very likely water. There's a few dubious water sources that we filled the trailer up with. And if we think it's okay, we won't filter it, but we've learned our lesson now. It's just not worth a whole family being down for several weeks.
When I think back on that time...
It was rough.
It was so rough. Oh my God, yeah.
Eventually, as with all storms, the clouds began to clear. This hike to Valbona Peak was so steep that we started to question our decision. We were still quite weak and fragile, but we pushed on. When we made it to the meadow, we could see the peaks in the distance and knew there was no turning back. We just had to get to the peak.
Sing at the top of my lungs, it's good to be alive. Ring every bell to be rung, do more than just survive. You should come along with me. Come along with me. I'm going where the wild hearts run free. Lose myself in all the mystery. I am shining bright. Whoa, dancing in the light. Whoa, it's good to be alive.
We were finally en route to the Vjosa River, one of Europe's last wild rivers, and a potential model for the future of water conservation around the world. One thing to mention about Google Maps in the Balkans is that it's not to be trusted. And if you follow the route blindly, you might get yourself into some tricky situations. We learned this the hard way on a few occasions.
Ça remorque derrière lui.
We were more than happy to help this French family out, as we've been in similar situations over the years, with various vehicles all over the world. Ooh. Yay! The mud wasn't an issue for us, but gas was. And this detour had us crossing our fingers. Looking at the map, we decided to backtrack to another route, and luckily we made it to a petrol station. It had been a bit of an emotional roller coaster to get here, but seeing the river for the first time energized us, and we were starting to feel strong again. There it was, glistening in shades of turquoise and blue. The story of Vjosa's struggle to stay wild has been ongoing for well over a decade. The river flows freely from the mountains in Greece down to the Adriatic coast in Albania. For years, it has been threatened by proposed dam projects, which would flood some areas while leaving others dry. It takes just one dam to lose the entire river. By becoming a national park, these dam projects have come to a halt. It marks a significant step towards the conservation and protection of this pristine river ecosystem. We were curious about how the communities along the river and the people who fought for this milestone felt about its new status and what it would mean for the future. We had arranged to meet some key members of the community, but first we thought it was important to spend some time getting acquainted with this untamed beauty.
Seen some dolphins.
We met with Irma, who runs a tour company in the small city of Prmet, situated along the Vjosa. Our senses took over upon entering her rafting center. Irma was glowing and full of energy, and the herbal aroma took over as she brewed tea using fresh herbs from the surrounding area.
It was the first time how I did rafting 12 years ago.
Okay.
They were coming and having these services and these boats, and something very strange to us to see a boat or kayak. Hello, we were sort of kind of colorful boats,
Yeah.
and it's strange how I had my first real meeting with my country, with my place of birth, through the boat. It was amazing, through a rafting boat. And of course everything is related with Vjosa, because the climate that is creating in here, it's because of Vjosa. And all the small gardens that I hope you can go and visit, any of them, are watered with Vjosa river. And all these tasty fruits and vegetables we have, it's always all this valley, all brings back to Vjosa. And then Vjosa has been always the life of of all the children here. I mean, it's crucial, the presence of her in our life. We have to leave this to the nature and to the next generations, this treasure. It's a real treasure.
A shrine of goods covered the tables around her. It was clear that Vjosa was much more than just a river that flows through these mountains and valleys. It's the heart of this vast ecosystem, which provides water, food, and so much more to the people that live along her waters. It was time to say our goodbyes and head up into the hills to stay at a guest house run by Gilberto, another pillar of the community and former mayor of Permet. As the trek came to an end, we felt like we had gone back in time hundreds of years into another world, a charming one at that, where old traditions and ways of life still remained.
Echoes, whispers under stones. Centuries, countless miles to roam. And to the start, pieces to parts, beats to a drum, perfect by design. Finding our way, breaking through grey shadow.
The next morning, Gilberto shared with us his connection to the Vjosa River and what it meant to him.
I was grown up in the river, so try to imagine somebody who knows like every rock under the water, not above the water. Diving and swimming and fishing, whatever. It's like you hear it all your life, like a rhythm. Rivers, mountains are very, very important, even for shaping our characters, for like tradition, history, music. It's all combined. It's nature shaping us like people, who we are and what we do.
And can I ask how you got involved in the Vjosa River project?
In my understanding, it was like something not good on the way to happen. So that's why I was involved together with a group of friends for trying to stop and to protect the Vjosa River.
Albania generates nearly 100% of its electricity from hydroelectric plants. Recent studies have shown that in some cases, this green energy source may have unintended consequences, something rural communities along the Vjosa have witnessed firsthand.
So it looks like something like very nice, very good to do. But at the same time, it's we had some experiences from just a few years ago, those years in Albania, when it was a time like every kind of small stream was given to somebody, like private person, to build some kind of very small hydropower plants to produce energy. And what was coming back, it was just they were drying every possibility of local people to have like a normal life, to have water for even for drinking sometimes, even for agriculture.
So they found with the smaller projects, this was causing a lot of problems, just with the small ones.
I think yes, they were drying everything.
Right.
Just putting the water in pipes.
Right. And they thought if we do this
water,
to the larger river, we're going to have big problems.
But to the larger river, it was like even bigger problems. They will change forever, like even the landscape of this very, very beautiful area. Like sometimes it's really astonishing how this kind of decision could be taken, because what nature was so generous and giving to us just in a few years. we can destroy it forever. And during the time I was mayor, I had some kind of courses of sustainability and just getting know better, not just using it like sustainable development, but knowing it better. It means like what it really is not to destroy the future of our children, of the next generation, just because of a short-time need, which gives nothing to local people and it's just a profit for some private company.
The Vjosa Wild River National Park has been a huge win for those working to protect it. It is a true testament to the power of people coming together for a common goal. Rivers like the Vjosa are the lifeblood of our planet, supporting countless ecosystems and providing essential resources for both humans and wildlife. Rivers are the silent providers. We would never see rivers the same way after our time along the Vjosa. We savored our last day with one of nature's treasures.
Wow, it made the fire. Home is where you are. Mystery written in the stars. I know you given to take, torment to wake, waterfall wide, stillness in the waves. Circles in time, connecting lines, fate twists and turns, how the heart behaves.
Nice, eh? Fresh air. Good food. Down by the river. Everyone's health's improving.
The next day, we'd go to where this whole movement began. First, we'd have to face one last challenge. We're in a bit of a pickle here. All right. Somehow we need to get out of here. Yep. We do not want to hit that. Stop! Stop! Oh my god. Yeah, just. You have to go, you're going forward? Okay. Yeah? Stop, stop, stop! Oh my god. Okay, I think it's okay. Just go really slowly. Turning the trailer around on yet another road that had turned into a footpath without notice. Should be fine, but it's very close. Oh my god. Okay. That is so close. Stop! Stop! Oh my god. Oh dear. I don't want this latch thing to break off. And that could potentially... Come look at... It should just scratch it. It's kind of already through, but... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of done now, isn't
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, you're through. Oh my goodness. The joys of having a trailer. It's not all fun and games. What? I think it just scratched it. Another scar to add to our memories.
Well, it's got some stories, that's for sure.
All right, let's go.
Our last stop was in the concrete jungle of Tirana, the capital city of Albania, and the Eco Albania HQ, the local organization that spearheaded the Vjosa campaign. We spoke with Vjosa, a key person that's been involved since the beginning.
It's going to be a mission, even after the protection, to really see it working, as a park. And I'm very happy that I and all the group, not just myself, managed to protect this natural treasure and keep it for the next generations and for my kids. So I would be very proud to tell them, look,
For sure.
Mommy worked for this.
Massive.
And we still have it free flowing. So
Yeah.
of course they will need, and we hope that the protected area gets a little bit enlarged in order to lower the pressure from outside to the national park. But let's say the first step was a great step to protect the river and the riverbanks and the floodplain areas, which is like the what the river owns. It's to the river and it has to be protected. Then it gets complicated because there are cities and villages, but there are also other areas that are already protected, national parks or landscape protected areas that can be connected and are connected, of course, naturally to the river. When it comes to the national park, it is a national park because it's a decision of Council of Ministers, but so far it's a paper park, which means it's only protected by law and it needs a lot of work to be operational. And that's where we are now. So this is the phase that we are now. The government is working for the management plan and tourism master plan and other documents and, let's say, steps that needs to be taken, and this is very important. And so far the Vjosa has motivated many communities also in Albania, in the Balkans and elsewhere, and we hope that the model of the national park, the Vjosa National Park, inspires or motivates other governments to act for the protection of their rivers.
So you're almost pioneering this model.
Yeah.
The Vjosa campaign shows that the seemingly impossible is possible despite the hardships. It started with a vision to have the river designated as a national park amongst just a few committed people, and just over a decade later is now a reality, with Patagonia as a partner. It was an inspiring reminder that the real power lies with us, the people, and to let our imagination run wild. We ended our time in Albania on such a sweet note, surrounded by the grapevines of a vineyard tucked away in the countryside hills. We were nearing 12,000 miles on the Grenadier, so it was time to get our first service in Bulgaria.